Hello, Bobby. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Chantel. I am the president of the Reflexology Association of California, and I'm excited to talk with you. We haven't had a chance to really get to know each other. So for me, in a personal way, I'm excited to get to know you a little bit more today, and then to share also with our members and our extended community as well. So I thought we could talk about, we'll start at the beginning. Just where are you from originally? And maybe what were you doing before reflexology? Was there something before reflexology?
Well, good morning, Chantel. It's wonderful to be here with you too. Um, okay, let's get started. I am a California girl, born and raised in California. San Jose is actually where I was born, and my family slowly moved us south, and we ended up in San Diego, over 50 years ago. So it's this I pretty much call San Diego my home. And what I was doing before reflexology, I was working for my dad in his real estate office. So at the age of 21, I got my real estate license and I started working in his office, and I did property management and property rehabilitation. So I would take over units that we had people that wanted to sell, and I would go in with my handyman and we would completely revamp everything and bring it up to code, or just get it to a level where we could get the best price for their properties. So I did that for 7.5 years. And then the real estate market kind of dropped out in the late 70s, and I had to go find another job. And so I ended up working as a secretary for a junior high and did that for a while. And then somebody said, "Hey, why don't you go to massage school?" And I went, "Well, okay, why not?" So I went to massage school, worked my way through school, and then my mom asked me if I wanted to go take this reflexology course. It was going to be up in LA, and she had met a nurse who had taken courses from the International Institute back in the early 70s, from Unisingham, actually. And so asked if I wanted to go take a class, and I thought, and she said, "I'll pay for it." And I said, "Okay, I'll go." As long as mom would pay for it, I'll go. So
Yeah.
we started going to classes in January of 1979, and the rest is history. So that's my short story.
Oh
And
my goodness. Well,
yeah.
first of all, yay. I was born and raised in San Francisco, so we're Northern California sisters.
Yes, yes. My mother was born in Oakland.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah. So definitely we are California, Cali girls.
So cool to know that about you. And certainly well, you have the foot ladies, and it's plural. So this is you and your mom.
It's just mom and I. Yes, yes. She had her
Yeah.
own practice. I had my own practice. She still worked on feet the last year she was alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was dedicated to it as much as I did, and she helped me teach classes when I was
Yeah.
home. As
Yeah.
the Institute put me with George Balut for quite a few years, and he and I do classes all over the country and in Europe. And then when he when no longer could afford to have two instructors be on site, then that's when my mom started joining me, and we started doing
Oh,
classes over on the West Coast. So yeah, she loved it. She was a trooper all the way to age 91.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's really, I say it to people often. It's like in reflexology, we do it till we die. Like we can just being able to be at someone's feet, we could do it till we die. Absolutely.
Yep, yep.
Um, so did you have a first experience with reflexology, maybe in those classes or with mom that really was a game changer and made you leave the other world? And what made you kind of decide to dive in?
Well, the first experience I had, this is going to be on a recording. I had at that age, in the early 30s, I had real out of balance menstrual cycles, and I
Oh,
never knew when I was going to start. It was always, well, sometime in the month, and it would surprise me. And so I remember going to the class, and I knew it was in Anaheim, right in the Sheraton near Disneyland. And we were in that room, and we got to the part where we were learning how to work the uterus and the ovaries and all of that. I remember in the middle of it, I went, wait a minute, I gotta go. And I went to the bathroom, I started, and I was never out of balance after that. And that made me kind of go, huh? okay, what is this is weird. Okay, because I was just going because mom wanted to go. It was something to do. And I had no great aspirations of healing the planet 2 feet at a time. No, no, I just went.
Yeah.
And I started practicing on my boyfriend's feet that were size 13. And I remember his mother had migraines, and I was able to help her migraine, which blew me away. It blew us all away. She said, "My head's feeling better." I said, it is really? So, I mean, I had kept having these little mini miracles in the very beginning. And so next time they came to town, I went, "We got to go, Mom. We got to go." And the only reason I became certified was because, and I don't do anything like a lot of the people do. It's like there's no rhyme or reason. It's because of a cute boy in my church. That's it. Bottom line, David Brown came to
Uh-huh.
me at church and said, "I hear you do reflexology." And I'm like, well, yeah. And he did Heller body work at the time.
Oh,
And
cool. Yeah.
he asked me if I would like to trade. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, David Brown, who I had such a crush on, said wants to trade. So I remember calling my mom and saying, "Mom, we have to get certified." She said, "What do you mean we have to get certified?" I said, "Well, David Brown wants to trade, and I don't know if I know what I'm doing." Now, understand, I had already been to 13 seminars.
Mm.
Mom and I just would go every year, every year, every year, because it wasn't that expensive back then.
Yeah.
And so at that point, she said, "Well, okay." She said, "But why do I have to get certified?" I said, "Well, just cause." And so we studied. We had a group in LA that we would meet with and trade and do trade. This Foot Reflexology Awareness Association, one of the first associations to
Okay.
start in America.
Yeah.
They Pennsylvania group and then FRA in LA were the two that.
Uh-huh.
So we'd go up to Eagle Rock every month, and we'd trade feet. So they helped us study for the exam. And then January of 1983, I think it was, I took my exam and I aced it. And at that point, they were looking for an instructor, and they came to me and said, "Would you like to travel with us?" And I was thinking, what? I remember my dad saying, "You can do it. I know you can." And I'm thinking, they said, "Now you have to go take speech or what do you call speech lessons? Not speech lessons. But anyway, I had to go to speech class
Yeah.
and learn public speaking. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to join Toastmasters and
Uh-huh.
and go through that program
Hmm.
before I came and joined them. And then they flew me up to Winnipeg, Manitoba, and we started traveling in a big RV all across Canada, city by city by
Wow.
city. And we would camp in the camper, and once a week we would stay at a hotel where we'd have showers and good meals and all of that, and do the classes, and
Huh.
then we'd go on to the next city. And we did that for 3.5 months. That was my first year of teacher training. And then the second year, they flew me back up to Winnipeg. We did it again. And that's when they paired me up with George Balut. And in 1985, he and I got our own section and
Mhm.
we became regional directors for Western United States and Eastern United States. And they had somebody already in Canada and the Northern States. And so George and I had the biggest area because we were the sort of
Yeah.
the first. So, but we came after Kevin Kuntz. Yeah, everybody knows who Kevin and Barbara Kuntz are.
Yeah.
They were our instructors for 2 years before I came on. And so
Mhm.
that's how I got to know Kevin and Barbara. And so we've been in contact and supported each other all through these years. And I just love that couple. They're great people.
Absolutely. And really just so grassroots. I love it. I could absolutely see you in that Winnebago and like going town to town. That is so cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was very very fun. We'd be up in Northern California picking boysenberries in the
Yeah.
patches up there in the redwoods, and yeah. Oh, I got to see America in motorhome, and I'm blessed, so blessed. Yeah. And then
Absolutely.
they paid me. They paid me to be on tour to learn to be a
Right.
teacher.
Right.
Who does that?
Right.
You know?
They
I
paid
was,
me to pick boysenberries. Thank
yeah.
goodness for this crush you had.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, okay, I'll go and see the world. I mean, when they sent us to London to do a class, it was like, oh, free trip to London. I didn't make any money, but it covered the trip.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so
You
that's
were off and running. Did you ever do the exchange with David?
yes, yes, I did. Yes, I did. And to this day, I remind him how if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, and he
So
just
cool.
laughs.
I
Yeah,
love it. The way the universe works. And I love that you said you're like these, I forget how you put it. It was like these little magic moments, right? That were happening of like these little magic miracles, right? These things are like, oh my goodness, I pressed here and there was change.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
The synchronicity of my life has been just mind
Yeah.
blowing. Yeah,
So
I've loved it.
cool.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah. Would you tell me, I know you teach in San Diego. Do you also teach in Arizona? Like, what is your teaching gig right now? How do you do it?
Well, my years of travel, once mom passed away,
Yeah.
I just cut back. I said, I'm not traveling anymore. It's too
Yeah.
hard to do by yourself. And I
Yeah.
just aged out. I don't want to do it anymore. So I stay here in San Diego. If people want to be trained by me, they can find me. I'm always here. I have classes every other month. And so I've been doing those classes since 1985, 84, 85,
Unbelievable.
whatever. Yeah.
I
And I
recommend
love
people.
it.
I send people your way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love doing it. It's something that is a passion that the more people, and I will continue to keep doing it until I can't. And so
Yeah.
that's the way I look at it. I was doing classes in Arizona for a while because there's a gal over there. She said, Bobby, come and do it at the house. You can stay here. And so I did that. Well, now I'm letting Lori Azzarello is now going and doing
Oh
classes,
yeah. Yeah.
which is great. I just love Lori and she's an awesome teacher. So yeah, I let her to kind of take over the Arizona area. And there are I think there's Pat who's in Florida and Pat Lawson and there's only three or four. During COVID, they had brought on some people from Canada who were coming down and doing the northern states, and then COVID hit and they stopped coming down, and after that they quit. It was
Yeah.
like nobody has had the staying power that I have, and now Lori. That's it.
Yeah.
Just because why quit? I mean, I loved it. And I'm down to doing maybe two people a week now.
Yeah.
I very rarely take on new people,
Yeah.
but all of a sudden I'll go, yeah, okay. And then somebody will call me and I'll go, sure, come on in. And they're like surprised because my
Yeah.
website is generally goes toward the teaching.
Yes.
Just because it's easier on me. And but I still do I want to keep my hand in, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta keep your hand in.
Absolutely.
You don't want to lose it. And heck, like I said, mom kept going until the end.
That's
And I was working on her feet the day before she died. So, because she had breathing difficulties. So she had lung cancer and rectal cancer. And yeah.
yeah.
But she lived to 91 for heaven's sakes, and I attribute a lot of that to the reflexology and the detoxing and all the stuff that we did to ourselves to keep ourselves healthy. So I think that,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And
So
what do you, so you teach a program, but are there other things? I know you've written books, you do foot reading. What else do you do? Other classes? Yeah.
Yeah, back in 2004, 2005, I got a book that called Reading Toes by Emery Shamogi.
Yeah.
And I was so fascinated by this. I thought, oh, this is absolutely wonderful. Then I got an email from a lady in England saying she was coming to San Diego to give a class, but it was the same day as I was doing one in LA, so I couldn't go. But she and I met, and she ended up being my teacher. And her name escapes me right now,
Yeah.
but Mom and I flew to England and took a class with her in foot reading in this adorable little English town. And we ate lunch in a pub. I mean, it was a typical English place,
Yeah.
and learned and took her foot reading class. And I came home and I was like, there's just so much to teach them. And her book just did not complete it. And so somebody said, write your own book. So I did. And in 2006, I announced it at one of the state conferences, the RAC conference, and gave a talk about foot reading and introduced my book, and then did a little mini class at the end of the conference. And from then, I developed in 6 months. I wrote a book, developed a class, and a teacher's manual all in 6 months, and then just launched it. In fact, I have one coming up in May of this year, the first one I've
Oh,
done in 3 years here in San Diego.
oh,
So,
great.
yeah.
When is that? I'll put it, this video, I'll put below it, I'll put that information. Yeah.
I've got somebody that's trying to call me right now, and I have to. Yeah.
Oh, and you can send it to me later and I'll put it down. You said it's in May, and that's going to be a foot reading class?
Foot reading class.
Excellent. Yeah, yeah.
And then a few years, maybe 10 years ago,
Yeah.
I developed plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
And long story how that happened. And so I designed a class about foot or plantar fasciitis and reflexology because I had to fix myself. I went to a
Yeah.
podiatrist and all he did was go and give me a shot of cortisone. And I was like, ah, that doesn't work. So I had to research and find out what causes plantar fasciitis, what are the culprits, and found that there are 6 different areas on the feet that all are lumped into the word plantar fasciitis, and they're all
Yeah.
connected to different muscles, and it all starts in the lower back. So it was
Mhm.
very interesting to do all that research. And so out of that, I developed a class. And so I just did one of those this last fall, and I'll probably do another one. I may do more of these as we go along. Um,
Yeah.
so
Well, it makes me think about, necessity is the mother of invention, right? That phrase is it's like when
absolutely.
something is happening within our own body or someone we love deeply, we tend to dive in.
Yeah, exactly. And learn more than you
Yeah.
ever thought you'd ever want to know. Well, you asked about a
Yeah.
surprising benefit or something that happened.
Yeah.
Uh, my mother had a stroke, and it doesn't matter what year. I got a call from my dad, and he said, "Your mom doesn't look very good. Can you come over here?" Now, my dad's deep in dementia, so that was something else as it was for him to call me. So I go over there, and her face is pasty white, and her face is drooped down, and she said, "It's all numb. I can't feel it." And I thought, tic tailor I mean, I was trying to think of anything but
Yeah.
stroke. And I thought, whatever, just get down to her foot. So, and she said she had pain in her head. And so
Yeah.
I went to the foot where the pain was, and it was in zone 4. So I went to toe 4, and she screamed. It was like, okay, we got the right toe. Started working on it. Within seconds, I could see the color coming back in her face, and her face went up. And she said, okay, it stopped hurting. And I said, let's get you to the hospital. So we got her to the hospital and her head started hurting again. I immediately was in emergency working on her. So we got her stabilized. And after 4 days, the doctor said, you can go home now. And okay, fine. She wanted to get something to eat. So we drove to a shopping center, got out of the car, 4 steps, and she throws up in the parking lot. She said, my head is pounding. And I said, okay, we're going back. On the way down to the hospital, she said, I can't see. Her eyesight had zeroed down to a pinprick. And so
Yeah.
I'm driving like a bat out of hell. I finally get to the hospital. I
Yeah.
run into the emergency, and there's her doctor and neurologist standing there. And my brain is blank, and I'm going, I can't remember where to work for the eyes, and I forgot
Yeah.
cranial nerve. So he drew a picture of a cauliflower, and he pointed. I said, "Oh, base spinal, okay, base of the spine, or yeah, right at the top." And so I went to her big toe, and it's right under the toenail
Hmm.
and right under here. So I'm pressing, pressing, pressing. I go up underneath the big toenail, and I press like this, and it was those popping bubbles. And I went,
Yeah. Yeah.
as I went pop, she went, and she said, I can see. Her eyesight came back just like that. So we halted her stroke, brought her
Wow.
eyesight back instantaneously. I will never forget that. Never forget
No.
I live. That was one of many
Yeah.
amazing things. And these are not things that happen every day.
Yeah.
So that's just something that keeps you going. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Keeps you going. So
Mm.
anyway, okay, so you asked for the
Oh yeah, the dates.
yeah.
And you could say them now and then I'll write them too so that they're below the video. So if anybody is interested,
Absolutely. It's going to be May 9th and 10th,
May
Saturday,
9th
Sunday.
and 10th. Oh, good. Okay. May 9th
Yes.
and 10th. Yay.
Hey,
Well, this has been so much fun.
I know. I know. This is
I
fun.
mean, there's like so much more, but I feel like I'm so happy to get a taste and to get to know you. Is there anything else, anything on your mind that you'd like to share or
Well, our product.
yeah,
2 years ago, I got an email from a gentleman who lived in Pacific Palisades, unfortunately.
yeah.
He did lose his home during the
Mhm.
fire, but he
Mhm.
ended up down here near me. Well, he and I, Patrick Netter and I, have developed a company called Get Net Guru, I think it is.
Mhm.
Anyway, we have developed at this point 4 different products, but the main
Yeah.
one is based on reflexology rollers. He brought me on team. He
Mhm.
met my brother and sister-in-law at a Christmas party, and they
Yeah.
telling them about what he was developing, and he said, "But I want to do special surface on these rollers." And they said, "Well, you ought to call my sister. She knows everything about reflexology." And so he did. He contacted me, and I thought, okay, well, most of the time I turn people down for stuff like that. But because he met my brother and my brother suggested, I thought, okay. So we have since developed our main product is called a Roll RX, and it has 2 rollers on it that work independently of each other, not like a bicycle that has one flywheel and that you go up and then goes down and up and down. Ours have 2 flywheels and they're independent. And so a person can adjust the tension on each one, and nothing else out there has this system set
Mm.
up for it. Plus, we have red light therapy in it and vibration. And so these things are real. We've finally got investors. We're building them. We've got 12 scientists on our team. I mean, this is amazing what we're developing and what's going to come to the market. And I've got clients that want to buy one, people with plantar fasciitis, because I also specialize in plantar fasciitis and neuromas and bone spurs. I'm a real foot lady. I do more
Yeah.
than I specialize in feet themselves. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we got that coming up, and I'm real excited. It was like,
Oh, it's so cool. Is there a time where you think it's going to be launched or I mean, we never know with those things, but
yeah, we never know. I mean,
yeah.
it's been 2 years as of December 20th. No,
Yeah.
years, yeah. And so we're going into our 3rd year, and we've developed now a junior version of the Roll RX. It's called RX Junior, and
Yeah.
it's just the rollers, and it's for
Yeah.
children with ADHD,
Mhm.
with because Patrick is a monster of ADHD, but he's like a nervous ticks all the time moving. Well, he developed these rollers for himself, and once he works them, because when we stimulate the bottom of the feet, we are stimulating the vagus nerve, the entire thing. And that's why people start to fall asleep when we're working on them, is
Mhm.
because it's yes, the vagus nerve reflex is right up in here. And so that's nice, but boy, you stimulate the whole foot, and that just activates the whole thing. And so
Oh,
that's what keeps him calm. So we're developing this one for children with attention deficit. They're too nervous in the classes. They can't focus. And so this is now going to be hopefully going into private schools and for special ed kids that have attention problems. And yeah, so it's this thing is huge. It's growing bigger and bigger. We've got manufacturers in Europe, and I just sitting back going, okay, like a ping pong ball. I watch what Patrick does with all this
yeah.
stuff, and he's asked me to be his partner in this. And
So
so,
exciting.
yeah, very exciting, very exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
when, but everybody stay tuned.
yeah, it's you're crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
Yep,
And
exactly.
whenever it does happen, Bobby, I could always change. We'll put this video on YouTube too for our community and our extended community to watch. So when the time comes, I'll make an addition or I'll make an edit so people have access to it too, because that's really exciting.
It
Yeah.
would be very cool. Then I'll have one because I've seen the prototypes, but we don't have one. Patrick will get them and then he sends them back and for changes or whatever. So it's
Uh,
the thing that I've gone over to his place and played around with and go, this is so exciting. I've got a video of me with my feet on one and
yeah.
tell me what I feel like because it feels like oh, like I've got itching under my skin, and when I
Yeah.
roll my feet on it, it just feels like it's getting a deep workout from just working on the body.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting to work with. And I never thought I'd ever promote a foot roller.
Yeah.
Surprise. So
Yeah. Well, again, it reminds me of that, the necessity is the mother of invention, right? As he's like,
exactly.
yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Bobby, thank you so much.
So welcome.
This has
This has been
been
wonderful.
a total treat. Yeah. And we get to, yeah, I'm happy to see your face and thank you for spending a little bit of your morning with me.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Chantel. It really has. Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I will see you soon. We'll talk soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.